What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and you're watching our Big Ten football channel. In our 2019 college football schedule previews continue with the Maryland Terrapins. You can see their schedule on your screen. A 5-7 record last year, had that big win over Texas, but just could not get through that difficult Big Ten East. Could not get to a bowl game. We'll see if they can turn that around this season. Of course, Mike Locksley coming over to coach this team. We'll see how that works out. The schedule is not horrible. It could definitely be worse. You got Howard to open up the season, then Syracuse at Temple. So winnable games in the non-conference. Those aren't necessarily easy games, two of them anyways, but they're winnable. Then you got Penn State at home, a road game against Rutgers, a road game against Purdue, Indiana at home, at Minnesota, Michigan at Ohio State. How about that back-to-back? Michigan and Ohio State. Then they face Nebraska and at Michigan State to close out the season. So those final four games are going to be really, really difficult. If they go into those 4 games with 5 wins, I don't know that they get to a bowl game. I don't know that they win any of those games. I think it's going to be tough. We'll see. Now, this is a team that lost a good bit from last year. 4 on the offensive line, 3 receivers, some guys on defense as well. So they are replacing a good bit of talent. Watch for Anthony McFarland, who really exploded onto the scene last year at running back. I think he is going to be a star at Maryland. So looking forward to seeing what he's going to do. You got Kasem Hill, you got Pigram at quarterback. Both guys have been injured a lot throughout their careers, but have both shown flashes at times. So if one of those players, and I think it's going to be Kasem Hill, but if one of them can step up and really get that quarterback position settled, I think that could go a long way. But again, it's going to be a pretty good team, but I don't think that this is a team that will probably ever really get into the top 25. I think the goal for Maryland is to get to a bowl game. I think that will be a great step for the first season for Mike Locksley. And again, if you go back to last year, you need to lower your expectations for first-year head coaches. We saw that last season. Most of them did not do a very good job, or at least they didn't have great seasons. Some of them did. Dan Mullen at Florida, Joe Moorhead at Mississippi State, Herm Edwards at Arizona State. So, there were a few that did a good job. Most of them did struggle in their first season. So anyways, let's go to the schedule here and give Maryland one easy win. I give them a win over Howard. Going through this schedule, you could maybe make a case for Rutgers, Temple, maybe those 2 games, but both of them are on the road. So I'm not going to say that those are easy wins or likely wins for Maryland. I do favor them probably in both of those games, but they're definitely not going to be easy wins. And I believe Temple beat Maryland last year, if I'm not mistaken. So playing on the road, yeah, that could be a tough game. Syracuse, a winnable game, playing them at home. They got a new quarterback this year, so that could be a big one there. And that could be the game, actually. Maryland versus Syracuse, that could be the game that determines whether or not Maryland gets to a bowl game. So keep that in mind. You look best case, worst case scenarios. I think best case scenario is you beat Howard, Syracuse, Temple, Rutgers, Indiana, and that might be about it. Worst case scenario, you win those 5 games. Those are definitely winnable games, and I think they win 4 out of those 5 at least, and then maybe win another game somewhere else. So yeah, I think they get to 5 wins. Looking at best case scenario, you win all 5 of those games, and then you also maybe beat Purdue, or you pull off a big win at home against Penn State or Nebraska and get to 7 wins, something like that. Maybe Minnesota and Purdue, maybe they can win those games on the road. It's going to be tough. I think right now, just looking at this schedule, I think if I was going to pick a win total, I'd probably pick 6. I go in the middle, but I'd say 5 wins is more likely than 7. I think 7 is going to be tough. To me, if you're a Maryland fan, just get to 6. That should be the goal. Get to 6 wins, get to a bowl game. And again, these projected win totals are just based off of the 12 regular season games. That would not include a bowl game if they were able to get there. So yeah, I think between 5 and 7 wins, somewhere in there. I mean, if it really goes bad for them, they could finish 4 and 8. But I like their chances to get to 5 wins. I liked them against Rutgers. I liked them against Temple. Obviously Howard. Probably Indiana. And then I think maybe they win somewhere else as well. So I'm going to say that they finish somewhere between 5 and 7 wins. It's going to be right there on the border again. And once again, it could come down to that Week 2 matchup with Syracuse. If they lose that game, they may not get to a bowl game. If they win it, I feel pretty confident that they will get to a bowl game. And I think they could still get there even with the loss in that game. But if they win it, yeah, I think they're in great shape, and I think they will get to a bowl game. Thank you for watching this video. If you're a Big Ten football fan, please subscribe to the channel. Leave us your thoughts down in the comments below. And for the latest in Big Ten football, keep it right here.